Hello everyone on YouTube, Brandon Parker, back again with another tutorial. This time this tutorial is going to be for Cinema 4D, messing around with thinking particles, generating kind of like what you would say is like sparkles a little bit, some of that cool stuff. So kind of like what I did for my intro that I just have now, that I just created and you saw in the beginning of this video. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's go right into Cinema 4D. Let's open it up. Okay, and then first what we're going to do is, before we do anything, is we're going to go to render settings, change your output to 1280 by 720. Okay, and then once we did that, we're going to go to objects, or like in the new version R13, you're going to go to like create, and then you're going to go to no object. Reason why I'm using version R12 still is because I haven't had it for that long. I played around with version 13 and I just don't feel it's too different, so I'm going to wait a while until go into that. So I'm going to wait like 3 or 4 more months that I've had this little bit more longer before I go to it. So what I'm going to do, okay, once we have to do this, add the no object, we're going to right click on it. Go to Cinema 4D tags, the first one, then all the way down on it to Espresso. Okay, and I've already been using it, so you would probably have it sticking out already. I already have it inside because I've been using it a lot. So I'm going to drag my no object in there, drag it in there. Okay, on my no object. You'd probably want to rename it to make it easy, but I don't find it difficult because it's the only object that I'm creating, so it's not difficult to remember what it is. So and then what you're going to do on it is you're going to right click on here and you're going to create new thinking particle, and we're going to go to, let's see, TP generator, and then we're going to do a PStorm. Okay, right there. Okay, resize this to right about there. I'd probably make this a bit, or to right about there, and then move this over. And then the blue one, to tell you what they mean, the blue is the input, and the red is the output. So what we're going to do is right here, we're going to click on the red, and we're going to go to global matrix on it. I'd still resize this some. Okay, and then we're going to click on the red again, and we're going to coordinates. We're going to go to global position. Okay, and then on this, we're going to click on this, and we're going to add a meter alignment. Okay, and then we're going to put that on top so that the global matrix points to it head on right there, just like that. Okay, and then after that, what you're going to do is you're going to okay, I'm going to play it right now. But first, before I play it, I'm going to put my timeline to like 312, which is like 10 seconds. If you're trying to create an intro. Okay, you can see him spitting out. So we're going to go to our PStorm, the settings, so that they pop up right here. To get it to pop up, just click on right here, and then it'll come up. And then for the count, what I did was I changed it to shot. Okay, and you can see what it looks like right there. That's what I did. I changed it to shot. Then what I did is I took all of these settings to my liking, whatever I thought was cool, whatever generated, whatever I liked, and then for what I did was, if you want to copy exactly, is I changed the life. Well, the life, make sure you change the life so that it goes double your timeline or whatever. Double it so that to like say it's 312, double it to 612, just so that it continues going on even past the project. It'll still stop right wherever at 312, but it'll like kind of like a loop if you're trying to, just because it looks better. And then on the shots, change that to like 100, just because it looks cooler. And then what you can also do is add like a kind of like a slow motion, I guess, if you want to call it. You can do that. So we're gonna go back to Espresso one last time. I'm gonna go to let's see, let's go to thinking particles, initiator, and go to PPass in the initiator. PPass. Besides this, okay, and then we're gonna go to new node, thinking particles. We're gonna go to dynamics, and we're gonna add some friction. Okay, right there. Okay. Okay, and then you just drag it to that. Make sure it actually points to it. Okay, right there. That's that, and we're pretty much done with the espresso. Okay, and then we can play that, show you what it looks like, and that's just what it's gonna do. Kind of stops a little bit. It's kind of at a certain part, but when you animate it, it's gonna be like kind of like a snake going back and forth. It's gonna look pretty cool. So that's why I did that. I was just playing around and I added that, just messing around, and it looked pretty cool. So I kept it like that. Okay. So then what we're gonna do after we've done that is we're gonna go to here and we're gonna go to simulation so that we can have our particles show up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go to thinking particles, particle geometry. Okay, and then we're going to right click on it and we're going to go to hair tag and we're going to go to renderer. Okay, rendering the hair tag. And then after that, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to your materials area and you're going to go to file and we're going to add a hair material. And then it looks boring. So what we're going to do on the color is change the first one. What I did was change it to white. Okay, on the first one, and then pick whatever color I wanted on the second one, whatever I liked. So we can have some cool colors. I pretty much like kind of like light green a little bit, like right there. And it's not exactly what I did for my actual video because I pretty much changed it up a little bit in After Effects, and then when I brought it in to like Final Cut, which is my other editing program that I use, yeah, to do my final work and everything. So I kind of changed the colors up a little bit, but you could just play around with the colors inside here first, and then you can also change them later in After Effects or whatever other program you're trying to use it to make it more fancier. Okay, so once we did that, we're going to drag our hair tag, hair material, and we're going to drag it inside the particle geometry like that, and okay, just like that, and then it should show up. I think we might have to add, well, we're going to add some lights anyway, but it should show up some. Yeah, it's all white right there. See all that? It's like all white. Then you don't really notice the little bit of green. But what we could do is on this is we could, okay, let's go to for the null object, we're going to add a light for it. Let's add like a just a regular basic light. This one, light right there, and then we're going to change the color of this. Let's change it to, let's say, red, and then you could pick whatever color you want. I did red for right there, and then on the for the dot, because you see like a little red, like a glow. Okay, we're gonna, and then for the general, leave that on the right there, inverse, and we're gonna resize this all the way, all the way, all the way, right there. Let's zoom in on that. Okay, you can see that it's red right there. And then on the detail, what I did on the details of it is I went to inverse, resize this again, because this is for the inverse. And then we're going to do this. You can see that it's red. You can see that red right there. See, that's red right there. And then what you can do is add another one. Okay, so we can add like kind of like a gradient. So we're going to add like another one, another light, put it inside here. Okay, it's on top. Okay, and then we're going to go to general, change the color. Let's say like maybe blue. Okay. okay on that. And then you might want to add, let's see if what it already looks. See, kind of like bluish, purplish a little bit. Looks at like bluish, pinkish. Kind of changes it up a little bit, so that looks pretty sweet. Kind of like that. Okay, and then what you can do is to bring more light to it. You can add like a different kind of light. And then what I did was I added a target light. You can see the target light and change the color of it so it looks a lot cooler. See, try and changing it to red. Okay, maybe you might want to change it to, let's change it to yellow. Keep playing around with it till you get what you like. Okay, yellow doesn't really, makes it look more white. See if we have it blue. Yeah, bluish purple, back to the way we had it there. So if you change it to blue, depending, you play around with that. Play around with all the lightings. I had 2 lights in there and then target light. You could probably mess around with the intensity of it maybe. Let's go to see. Yeah, so now you can see it kind of looks like blue, red a little bit. Maybe you might want to, let's see if we change it to, I guess if you leave it to a little bit of blue, see what happens. Oh, it brings it, makes it more lighter a little bit. If you want a lighter color, you just play around with the light. Target light is pretty neat, brightens it up a little more. And it keeps that gradient look right there. So then what we're going to do now that we have that, okay, is we're going to animate it. So we have this, okay. We're going to animate the null object with the lights. Okay, and we're going to, okay, play it a little, we're going to play it. Okay, right there. Okay, we see that. See that right there? You can see that it looks really, really, really cool. Kind of see that little bit of a glow right there where it's red. That looks really sweet. I really like that. The way that I changed the color of it. Okay, that's pretty nice. So what we're going to do is animate it now. Now what we're going to do, I would do it every 20 frames. So we're going to go 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, like that. So we're going to animate it. The null object. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to full size this right there. And then we're going to go to 20. Okay, animate a keyframe at 0. We want it to start at at the basic on the 0, and then we're going to go all the way to 20, and we're just going to randomly do this. You kind of go like in a crisscross motion, like it's going back and forth. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up on it, or not on the light. Make sure we're not on the light, we're on the null object. Make sure, okay. We're on the null object. Change the chord. You can manually do it, I guess. I'd probably bring it up all the way to, okay, okay. And then we're just going to animate this. Let's see what that's going to do. Yeah, you're gonna see that. See that it's going over there, and you don't really see much gaps. But if you do, like I said, go back to your espresso, click on your PStorm, and then play around with the settings. So I'm going to continue to animate this. Let's go. Okay, at 40, and actually on the PStorm or on the C or in the particle C object, I would shut it off for now. I shut it off for now so you could see it. Or didn't I not shut it off? Just leave it like, I was going to shut it off, but let's just go back to here. Okay, on 20, let's go to 40. Okay, frame 40, and let's just animate some more. Let's go to frame 40. Okay, on the null object, and we're going to go to moving it to, let's see, all the way to here. Okay, and then what we're going to do is add a keyframe, click on the key, and it's gonna go to right here. It's gonna go to right here, and then we're gonna go to 60. We're gonna have it go up on 60. Okay, add a keyframe. It's going up on 60. Then it's gonna go here on 80. Make sure we're on 80 first. Make it go there. Okay, there on 80. Then we're gonna go to 100. And I'll just animate to 140. And we're gonna go to 100. Okay, boom, boom. Okay, right there on 100. 120, we're gonna go to boom, boom, boom. 120 right there. Okay, 140. Okay, we're gonna go to boom, boom. The longer it is, I think you're gonna have some gaps. So let's see. We're just gonna see here for a second. Okay, now we're gonna see if we have any gaps. Yeah, you see some. It's because it's a bit longer. Like spread out, the more spread out it is, the more gaps you're gonna have. You might want to play around with the settings of your Espresso and your PStorm in Espresso. You might want to play around with all these X size, X fob or Y fob right there. You might want to mess with that, or the X size or the Y size. Play around with that. Let's see if we play around with the size. If we play around with the size to 20, see how that looks. Okay. See, that looks not too bad, I guess. Like I said, you just play around with these settings. I'm not gonna spend too much time playing with these settings. It's pretty much it for this. Like that. It's how you do that. It's how you do thinking particles. Okay. Yeah, and that's how you do that. And then I'll open up my actual project on what I did, so I can explain more. Okay. Yeah, that you can add like more like lights if you want. So you can add like a lot more colors. You see that red right there? It looks pretty sweet. I really like that. You could probably let's change the light color maybe and make it more brighter. Yeah, you can see that. See that one end looks a little light blue, the other end and in the middle looks dark blue. That looks pretty sweet, like a gradient. So that's pretty nice. I really like that. You can add more lights to brighten it up some, but it might, if you have white or whatever, it might change the color a little bit. So you might have to play around with the lights of that. And then what I did is I'll go to File and I'll go to Open. Open up one of the projects the actual project that I did with my intro that I did in here. Let's see, let's go to what did I call it? Emitters. Yeah, thinking particles emitters. Kind of did this with realflow a little bit. Realflow is another 3D animation program, but mostly it's more for like water. If you're trying to generate liquids, something like that. If you want to make chocolate, or if you want to make paint splashes, so it's kind of like 3D water. It's more geared towards that. And this is my intro right here. And what I did was I added like let's see, like an attractor so that like let's see, for like the, because I added balls like spheres. So like, okay, animate, I'll go all the way back to here. So I had, like you see my intro, okay, I have that. Okay, and I'll play here. Give it a second because I have like a global illumination on, and global for global illumination, what that does is it makes your projects come in like really nice. And you can see that right there. It's kind of taking some time. Is because global illumination is making it really detailed, really nice and shiny, and it doesn't look fake. It looks real. So you can see that. And I added is like kind of like reddish, bluish, and I changed the colors in After Effects so it looks more bluer because I played around with that. And then inside of Final Cut, and I played around with that a little bit. So I made it look a little bit more bluer. It kind of has some red in there, like the little glow that I have. It's more detailed a little bit, and you can see that. And it's okay. And see that and the attract. This is the attractor. You can see like the. Let's go to here. Let's move this to over here. See, like the attractor, the balls are going around. They're going to go around in circles to add an attractor. And I showed you this in my last Cinema 4D tutorial. So I'll put a link to that, and you could check that out, where I show you how to mess around with like the emitter, the attractor. Because the last two tutorials on Cinema 4D, I did emitters. And then I did, after that, I did the attractor, where I'm messing around with that. You can play around with those. And it makes a cool effect. I have balls going around in circles in front of it. And then I'll show you in my next tutorial on how I completed the whole intro, what I did in After Effects, and then what I did in Final Cut. But for a lot of my subscribers, they have like Sony Vegas. So I'll show you some of it in Sony Vegas if you want to tweak it a little bit more in Sony Vegas. But a lot of it, most of the tweaking I did after this inside of Cinema 4D was After Effects. So I'll show you that, and then a little bit inside of Sony Vegas or Final Cut. And then I'll just, let's see, play this a little bit more so you can see. Right there, and that's the attractor. Right there, and then I'll stop, okay, right here, and then I'll just render it out, and you can see it. It's gonna take some time. Oh, and then I'll show you like the settings that you could have for. I'll show you that right after. I'll show you the what it looks like rendered. See that right there? The global illumination settings and the ambient occlusion, because those they kind of take a lot of time to render if you're trying to, have it look realistic. So I'll show you what you can do to kind of give it some time. You might have to leave it sit overnight. So like do this overnight so that it'll be done when you wake up, because it might take like 5-6 hours if you're messing with ambient occlusion or global illumination, so you can have really nice detail in your renders. So what I would do is I go to render settings. Okay, let's go to render settings. And what I did for my global illumination is let's see, let's go to, okay, actually let's go to multipass. Let's see, where is it? Okay, in the options, what I did was on the ray depth, I put it on 737. You might want to play around with that a little bit. I'd say probably 737 is probably good. It still might take a long time, like 5 or 6 hours if you're trying to, if you have like ambient occlusion. So if you have like ambient occlusion, like accuracy, I'd say put it to like, I think leave it on 50, but on the minimum samples, leave it to like 8. It's like 10, and then maximum samples is like 62 or something like that. So put it to like 50, and then I put the maximum to 8, so that it'll still look pretty nice, but it'll cut down on some rendering time. It might still take a long time depending on what kind of computer you have. Say you have like Windows and you have like a 32-bit, don't even try on a 32-bit. It might take too many hours, even if you change the setting. So I wouldn't even mess with global illumination or ambient occlusion if you have a 32-bit version of Windows. Unless you have really good RAM, and even then, if you have really good RAM, you shouldn't even have a 32-bit version of Windows. You should be running a 64-bit version. So that's what I run on my virtual version of Windows on my Mac. Is I run 64-bit version, and it runs pretty nice. It's a little slow still because I have two operating systems running back to back when I want to run together. So like if I want to go on my VMware Fusion and I want to mess around with Windows, it kind of lags a little bit because of that. But if you're just using one operating system like Windows or a Mac, the 64-bit is really good to have because they run a lot better. And then you have pretty good RAM, 4 gigabytes or higher is really good. And then 64-bit, you should do pretty good, depending. But if you go too high in details or whatever, it still might take a long time. So just play around with that. I'd say probably get rid of global illumination because you probably don't have to have it. It'll still look pretty nice if you have ambient occlusion, and still might render a little bit faster. So that's it. Oh, and also too, if you have a global illumination, make sure you go to the GI mode. Make sure it's on QMC, or you have it on say you have like camera animation or whatever. You might want to do this, but it might take a really long time. So what I do is I stay on QMC if I'm trying to mess with global illumination because it'll go a little bit faster because it'll do like frame by frame, and then you have to wait like really long time if you do this. So just do this one. Or if you're just doing like a still image and you have no animation and you're just trying to make a wallpaper or background out of it, then you do this, and it won't take that long. But since I have animations and all this emitters, I would do the QMC. That's what I did. Because this takes way too long if you do the camera one. The IR plus QMC, that one. Yeah, because I've tried it. I changed all the settings and it still takes a long time. And I get upset. Yeah, the QMC kind of takes like, sometimes it'll take long still, but this 10 times longer. Just play around with that a little bit. I say if you could get away with that global illumination and it still comes in nice, don't use it because it'll take a lot of your rendering time. So just use ambient occlusion and just have the settings that I have for it. Maximum samples 8, 50. And that's it on this tutorial for generating thinking particles and messing around with PStorm. So subscribe to my channel. It's been it was a while since I did a tutorial, and because I was messing around Cinema 4D, playing around with it, trying to make a new intro, trying to prepare my channel for doing different tutorials, better ones, and more cooler tutorials, like creating intros and all that. Because I've been getting a lot of people ask me to make them an intro, but it's kind of hard. It takes a lot of time to do it, and I just don't really want to. And then I want to do something different, so that's why. So if you have like Cinema 4D, it's really cool to do intros and stuff. It's really nice. It's better if you're just trying to do it in Sony Vegas. In Sony Vegas, you can't really make really sweet intros for your videos, and you can't. In Final Cut, for the one for Mac, you can do a little bit better than Sony Vegas, and even like the new Final Cut, it's kind of has some like templates to make intros in there, but it's kind of boring. So if you have something like Cinema 4D, it's the best way to do intros. It's what I've been doing my intros with. It's pretty nice. So that's it. See you later. Subscribe. My second channel is Binoc. That one I do effect videos, random videos, parodies, whatever I feel like doing on that channel, whatever comes to my mind. It's just having fun on that channel, being funny, just being myself on that channel, showing all that I know and putting it into all that on that channel. And then I have a gaming channel where I just do whatever games I have and I like to play. Like classic ones, I'm starting out with that a little bit. And then in a little while, I'll be doing like like Modern Warfare 2 montages I'm going to do on that channel. And Black Ops, I'm going to do montages to that. And that's it. See you later. Sorry if this tutorial was really long. I needed to explain to you how to do this. It's kind of difficult, so that's why it took a little bit long to do this. And that's it. See you later, and that's it. I'll put links to all my other channels in the description or at the end of the video somewhere, and you can check them out. Subscribe if you like my work and everything, and don't forget to check out my website to see all of my work from all my channels. And I have a forum, so if you want to ask me questions, sign up. If you want to sign up to my forums, please email me your username so I can accept you and activate your account on my forums, because the reason why I have to do that and stuff is because I really don't want spam, and I don't really want trouble on my website. So that's why I do that, so I don't have so much spam and problems on my website, and too much people that ain't real, or just people just trying to mess it up. So that's why I do that. So see you later, and that's it. See you later.